Good morning and welcome to Faith, Fashion, and Fur. Azzy is joining us this morning. He came in here just a minute ago. He just, yesterday, you might remember, he went to the groomers. And so he is looking very good today with his bangs are trimmed and his mustache. So he's going to sit down here today. I am going to have some fur though at the end of this episode, I promise. Not too sure about fashion though. I wanted to go back again, which I tend to do. And I wanted to tell you that the morning that I had, actually the night before I had my mastectomy was probably one of the hardest times I did go through with my cancer story. I try not to say journey because I know that bothers a lot of people, or I've been told. So I think it's mostly people that have been through cancer themselves. So after I finished all of my chemotherapy treatments, I thought I was going to feel like some relief and kind of a break. But unfortunately I didn't, because I only had 1 month in between finishing the 6 chemotherapy treatments and had radiation too, but I had to have surgery before that. And it was just a short window of time. And as soon as the chemotherapy was over, the real fear of the mastectomy sank in for me. And so the night before, it was hard knowing what I was heading into the next day. And that night I had to use like the iodine. I had to put that all over myself and everything. And I think that was probably, I know that was one of my lowest points through all of this. But something wonderful did happen, and this is the reason I'm telling you that. So the morning of my mastectomy, I had to say goodbye to my husband in the waiting room because of COVID-19 restrictions. And I walked through the door to surgery with a registered nurse. She took care of things like paperwork and my glasses because I couldn't wear my contacts. And looking through my file and having heard excellent things about my oncologist and the team of doctors assigned to me, she told me what a great group of doctors that I had been given. She said that I had the best of every doctor in every, category. So because I had a surgeon, I had a plastic surgeon on top of that. I did have a wonderful oncologist. And who else did I have? I know there were some others in there, but when I was in there, her mouth fell open because the nurse that was assigned to me that day ended up being her best friend. Her best friend walked in, and she was also on my team of doctors. And anyway, it was just that I really believe that God handpicked each of these people to be in charge of me. So I did get some great comfort in that. Anytime somebody works at the hospital and they tell you, wow, you have all of our best doctors have been assigned to you, that's going to feel pretty great and pretty reassuring. And I really needed that at that time. So, so what haven't I told you about my breast cancer? I did have 6 chemo treatments, which I know I mentioned. I could just remember what the name of them are. I know when you're going through something like that, you do want to know what treatment other people were on, because you're wondering, were they given the same treatment as you? I know I had the choice of 2 different treatments. The doctors had decided pretty much 50-50 down the middle on these 2 treatments. So they did give me a choice of which one to do. And I ended up going to UCSF for just a second opinion. I was very, very confident with the team of doctors I had, but I wanted to know, with that, the notoriety that hospital has, what they would choose for their patient. So I did go with their recommendation on that. They also recommended that in my particular circumstance, it wouldn't be the same with everybody's, and everybody's different. But for mine, they recommended that I have the chemotherapy before I have the surgery. And then following that, I had 28 radiation treatments. I had those every day of the work week. I had weekends off. I had that every day of the work week for the complete month of October. So one day, this is the kind of a conclusion. I don't know if your story ever has a conclusion, but this was just one of those wonderful moments that I had a realization that I was sitting on my front porch and something miraculous dawned on me. This was after the chemo, this was after the surgery, and this was after the radiation. And I was sitting outside and I thought, no one is ever thankful to be given a cancer diagnosis. But I realized God's sovereignty over everything I'd been through from beginning to end at that very moment. My cancer was fast growing. As I told you, it was very aggressive. It was HER2 positive. My radiologist, I believe it was, had told me that I probably only had my cancer. I had gotten it in November or December of 2019, and I was diagnosed with 4 spots and an affected lymph node in February of 2020. So that's how fast growing my cancer was. Soon after my diagnosis, the first week of February, right after my diagnosis, COVID-19 hit in March, but by that time I'd already been diagnosed. I was put on a schedule. I had gotten on a cancellation list and was able to receive a port. That's what this is from. And started my first chemotherapy treatment. And I think that was such a blessing because it was already all scheduled. So when COVID hit, I just kept going with my schedule and nothing changed. It was all already in place. I'd already been there. And when COVID hit, it changed things for a lot of people because they were canceling mammograms. And I fortunately had my mammogram in early February. Routine mammogram. That is where my cancer was diagnosed during that mammogram, and I had never been concerned about my mammograms. Cancer did not run in my family. So what I'm trying to say is that all the professionals said I never would have found my cancer myself. I did not have any type of a large lump or tumor or anything that I could have felt on my own. So it was found during this routine mammogram. I know I already said that, but I was feeling great. As soon as COVID-19 did unleash itself on the world, I was, I'm sorry, I was looking for my dog. I was deemed essential at my job. So had I not known that I had breast cancer before that time, I would have just continued working. Azzy? I don't know. Oh, okay. I think he's just falling asleep and kind of growling in his sleep. Sometimes he gets stuck somewhere and I'll start growling, or because he can't see, or else bark to let me know that he's in a situation he's having a hard time getting out of. So I'm just really attentive to any noises that I hear him make throughout the house if he needs me or anything. So bottom line, if I hadn't gotten that reminder card in the mail, there's a very good chance I wouldn't have made an appointment. And had I not made an appointment when COVID hit, I wouldn't have had any reason to feel the need to get an appointment. And once COVID was over, I probably wouldn't have gone right in to get my mammogram because so many people probably would have been going in to get them. And some people that cancer does run in their families, they're more diligent about that, even though I never did miss a mammogram. I'm not saying that, but there's just a good chance that I wouldn't have gone in for a while. And like I'd mentioned, I had a very fast growing aggressive breast cancer. So who knows what state I would have been in by then. So I'm going to just read you this. If I hadn't gotten that reminder card in the mail, when I did and called right away, there was a good chance I wouldn't have gotten an appointment. I learned that they were canceling all mammogram appointments soon after because of COVID-19. Nobody but God could have orchestrated these events. And the events are, it was in God's sovereignty that the events were arranged, that my cancer was found, when it was found, the way it was found, and that I was able to get in when I got in and get all the treatment that I needed in a very uncertain time for all of the world. So I hope that makes sense. If not, put a comment down below and I'll tell you my story again, because it's an amazing one to tell. So I'm going to go forward here with just a couple more verses for you. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Psalm 18:2. And when we know that in all things God works for the good of those, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And that's Romans 8:28. He will keep you, he will watch over you. Psalm 121, 7 and 8. He gives us strength. Philippians 4:13. He takes hold and will help us. Isaiah 41:13. We can trust in him and the power of his Holy Spirit. Romans 15:13. And I'm going to end with that. Well, not totally end, because I'm going to add a few fur moments for you to enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay tuned. Don't exit this video yet, because the fur moments are right around the corner. Good morning, Nazzy. Hi, Coda. Hi, baby. Okay, let me grab my coffee and we'll go down the stairs. Okay, come on, Nazzy, you too, baby. Look at you. Let's go get something to eat. I'm coming. Be right there. Okay, let's go down. Let's go down. Hungry, sweetheart. Okay, here's your food. Come here, lovey. That's for you. Come here, baby. That one's yours. Okay. Now, Azzy is on diet food. It is Royal Canine. It is veterinary subscription approved. So I've had a little bit of a hard time with them eating, but it doesn't look like I'm going to today. Azzy loved his diet food at first and then wanted his brother's food, and then his brother's never been happy with his food now that he sees his brother's getting something else. What's going on, Azzy? Eat your food, sweetheart. Eat your food. Mama will sit right here while you guys eat, okay? Okay, you want to eat your food? I think I need to be quiet and let them finish eating. Did you bring Mama a toy this morning? Do you want to play? You gonna let Mama get that? You gonna let me get it? You gonna let me get it? Nope. How fun is this? The whole animal family